What's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie all day. Gonna do a little shooting today. We're gonna take out this guy right here, and this is basically gonna be kind of a review on it, not a breakdown. We're not gonna field strip or anything like that. I just want to show you if the 2245 by Ruger is a good gun to buy. So we're gonna do a little plinking, but first we're gonna go over some of the specs on this gun. We have a magazine right here that does have a load assist, which is really, really great because what you do is you pull this down as you load your rounds into the magazine, and it really helps rather than having to jam rounds in there. You're literally just assisting all the way down with your rounds. Makes it really nice. You'll notice that it does have a plate on the bottom, and when it is in, it looks just like this, fitting perfectly around the handgun, keeping it a very, very comfortable grip. Now, there's two versions of the Mark IV before they break into the versions of the versions, but there's another one that kind of resembles more in the grip style of a German Luger, where it has a really, really slanted grip position, where this one is called the 2245 because it uses the grip position of a 1911, a 45 ACP. And you'll notice the grip angle is identical. They even use checkered gripping to mimic the old original Colt 1911s. What I can tell you about this gun is it's fantastic. It's one of the best 22s on the market as far as target shooting 22s. It does have a 10+1 capacity. That means it will hold 10 rounds in the magazine, and you can have one chambered. The receiver is alloy steel. The front sight is fixed. The rear sight is adjustable for elevation and windage. Obviously, I have a scope. It is tapped, so you can put on a rail, so you can attach any kind of optics you want. On this one, I just happen to have a pistol scope because it's awesome. It's a Nikon scope, and it's really good. The grip frame is polymer, so it's like plastic. You go steel, plastic. This is considered a bull barrel. They make them where they taper down. The bull barrel, I think, is sexier. I like it. It's a little heavier. It is a blued finish, that dark color. It is only 1.22 inches wide. Let's see, it is 34.4 ounces. Normally, with this, it makes it a lot heavier. The overall length is 9 3/4 inches. It is 5.5 inches tall. A lot of this stuff, a lot of people aren't going to really know too much about. Like if I said twist rate is 1.16, nobody's really going to care about that. What they care about is, does it work? Is it comfortable? Is it easy to use? And it really is. Now, some of the things that they have in here, let's see, features conveniently located push button magazine release, which is going to be this guy right here. Now, a lot of times when you buy one, you're going to hit the magazine release, and your magazine is going to just drop freely down. This is a little older. You can see that, I'm trying to show you in the light. You can see like the oxidation on there, and you can see it on this magazine. This is an old magazine. This is really old, and it has gotten a little bit of caca on it over the years. So this one doesn't really drop as freely as if you had a new one. So it's kind of hard to do the review on the magazine release because it's not really fair to the gun to say that if I'm using older stuff. And this is just older stuff. This one was stored for a long time in an attic on a beach, on an ocean. So it constantly had salty air, and it it just got beat up a little bit. So normally, yes, you can hit the magazine release and the magazine will drop free. It's not going to happen today. It has a ambidextrous, it says ambidextrous manual safety can be converted to left side only, which this one is. This is a left side only safety. You can see there's no safety there. There's a safety there. This is your slide stop. It's actually really nice. You pull back the slide, you lift this up. It stops when the rounds are done firing. This will hold open or it should. Internal cylindrical bolt construction, checkered 911 grips, cold hammer forged trigger. It's everything you could see. It's got a target trigger on there. It's really nice. Everything you would want your 22 target weapon to be, or target pistol to be. This is just a great gun, and I can sit in here and tell you about it all day long, but it doesn't matter if we're not shooting. So let's just take it outside and shoot.
All right, so we're gonna do two different things. We are going to shoot some really, really bad, old, crappy rounds. Some Thunderbolts is what they're called. If you don't know what Thunderbolts are, don't buy any. They're just not that good. They were good because people bought them dirt cheap in bulk. But they're not the most reliable round in the world. They shoot dirty, and we're going to see what we want to do is we want to empty out a full magazine, and then I want to take a second magazine and actually shoot and see if we can hit things. Then what we'll do is I will do 2 magazines of CCI Stingers. This is actually a really nice round. They tend to shoot really well out of these, but we're going to shoot it out of a dirty gun after we blast some of these. So first things first, let's make sure we are on fire. Safety is off. We're just going to empty some rounds into this mound of dirt right here. Let's see. And right away, I had a failure to feed, or I think it was a failure to eject. And that's what it was. So that first round didn't even eject, didn't even pull the slide back. You can hear there was a strong pop and then a weak pop. That weak pop was that next round just being really old. Wow, that's crazy. When you get a weak round, you can really, really hear the difference. These old rounds are terrible. So the slide is held open, meaning it is empty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the next magazine, and it's still loaded with the bad rounds, and you could smell when a round is bad. They are just not good. So now we are loaded. One thing it does have is a loaded indicator. So there's this little bar here, and when it's unloaded, this is flush with the gun. When it is loaded and there's one in the chamber, there's a little red mark on this tab. That's a really good feature. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to hit the can down there. I want to back up a little bit. The can is just got water in it. I want to make sure I can actually see it in there. I think we can see it in there. It's right next to a golf ball. Let's see if we can't hit that can. There we go. That decimated the can. Just decimated it. I'll hit it a couple more times. So that magazine was flawless. It was the same stuff from a different box because it was a new box of the old rounds, which from the same bulk box, you know what I mean? So maybe they were just a little bit better, but let me go look at this can. Hold on. All right, so that first round, I mean, just absolutely obliterated it. we're not going to get into the conversation of 22 long rifle for self-defense, but I can tell you this: if this was my head, I would not wanted that. I would have not wanted that round to be in it. That was pretty devastating. That was pretty wild. Let me load up the second mags. Hold on. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you. One thing I did notice is the ones that had the faults was through the magazine that has a little bit of rust on it, where the other magazine has no rust on it and it didn't have any faults. But now we're going to put in these really good rounds, and we are going to test that theory or to see if the magazine had any play with it, which I don't think it did. I think it was just bad rounds. But I want to show you how good this guy is. Normally what you do is you take a round and you push it down, and you have to keep pushing every round down with your thumb, and the farther you go, the more rounds you put in, the more the spring compresses inside of here, right? And it makes it harder and harder and harder to do. With this, you pull this down, taking the pressure off of the spring, and it makes loading, when you have big hands, it's kind of hard. It makes loading so much easier. It's easy to say every magazine should have this, but the way some guns are built, they just can't. But it would be nice. It would be nice to find a way. If somebody could find a way to do every magazine just like that, it would be wonderful. All right, let's line them up. All right, so we are fully loaded. So right now we're going to do what we did before. The first magazine is just going to be an attempt to empty. That was super nice. You can absolutely feel the difference. The power was so much more intense. The sound, it was so much louder because they were all really good, healthy rounds. That was a flawless magazine through the rusty magazine. And it just goes to show, a lot of people say, oh, I don't use 22 because they're not very reliable. But a lot of the times, the reliability is going to be depending on what rounds you put in. If you're not willing to spend $2 extra on a box of rounds, then you're going to have more failures, and that's your own fault. You're more likely to have less misfires with good rounds. It's just fact. It's with any ammo. You can have misfires with your 9mm, with your 357. It doesn't matter. Any round can have a misfire. If you have a bad round, you're more likely to have a bad time, right? So good rounds usually make good shots. So now I replaced the can with a wooden target, and I just want to put one on that, and that was beautiful. So those are hitting really nice. What I want to try to do is hit that golf ball. And I am out. So now I got to find out if I actually hit it or just hit the dirt. All right, so I scraped the golf ball on the side twice. Put a bunch of rounds. Every round I aimed at the wooden board went through, but I just scraped the golf ball. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a fairly heavy gun, and I'm holding it away from me until I get the receptacle, my eye relief, properly lined up. Yeah, I'm not going to say it's windy because this is a little breeze, but 15 yards trying to hit a golf ball is pretty tough, especially once it moved. So I am not in the prone, I'm not laying down, or I'm not on a rest setting or anything, but I'm going to try again because scraping it is okay, but hitting it's better. And I haven't zeroed these sights. Let's see here. All right. Well, it rolled. I don't know what happened. I'm going to do another mag. All right, that was fun. I definitely hit it. I even have a round lodged inside the golf ball. It's kind of cool. But I put up the empty box that held the rounds, so I'm going to try and hit that as well. I got to zero these sights, and then I'm going to do a range day review. Today's review was just a review on, is this gun good? Is it accurate? Does it feel good in the hand? Is it reliable? And with good rounds, it's reliable. And it's comfortable. And it's good looking. That golf ball just shot. I think I might have one more. Let's see. I had two more. And definitely some hits. Let's take it out. I wanted to say let's check it out, but I think I just spoke a foreign language. So there's a couple holes right there. There's a couple scrapes. They're kind of hard to see. It looks like a scratch, but there's a round stuck right there. There's a round stuck right there. Those are two very solid shots. Looks like a snake bite. That was awesome, man. I'll tell you what, the 2245 is just a beast. I'm gonna have to zero it and then set something up. And I just went out and got some new targets too, so we're gonna have to really test this out when it comes to just dead nut accuracy. I can tell you it's dead nut accurate. Once I line my sights up, it's gonna be amazing, and I'll do a range day. What I can tell you from this review is this gun is, well, I know it's accurate, but not only that, it's just awesome. It is with good ammo. This is a flawless, nasty plinking machine. You can small game hunt with it. It is just absolutely fantastic. It feels good in the hand. If you like that 1911 feel, but you don't want to waste money on shooting 45 ACP, 500 times in a day, you get this and use this as your practice gun, because you're going to get that same feeling as far as holding the 1911s, and you're going to get that range time in to where when you do put that 1911 in your hand, you're going to have a very familiar feel, and it's going to just make it easier to train and a whole lot cheaper. But this thing is absolutely fantastic. I can recommend this to anyone, and that doesn't mean just like young or first time shooters. This is an anytime gun, an anybody gun. It's like the 1022 Ruger rifle. It's just one of those things that you buy as your first, but you for some reason never get rid of it because it's just always really reliable, really good. This thing's awesome. So until the next range day, that's going to be it for this one. Hi, I'm Donnie B all day. Until next video.